Why Windows? Why should someone get Windows over Chrome, over Mac OS?
Windows gives you the most choice of systems to apps to everything that you want to be able to do.
I'm calling you right now from a Windows 10 computer. What is going to be different when I upgrade to Windows 11?
I would say the experience, right? It's modern, and more importantly, it's centered on you. Even just that little subtle shift of the start in the center. Centered around you.
There it is, from the king of Microsoft himself. In Windows 11, the company's next big operating system due out later this year, the Start button moves to the bottom center. But that cosmetic change actually has deeper meaning. The word
center
is core to Satya Nadella's vision that Windows 11 should be at the center of your digital life. As Apple and Google entice users to increasingly closed-off worlds, he wants Windows 11 to be a compelling choice for people who don't want to live exclusively in either.
Windows has a role to play as that most open of ecosystems today that plays nicely with, in fact, the others. We want you to be able to connect your phones to your PCs. We want you to be able to communicate to people on phones or other PCs.
The proof is in the features. Windows 11 can now run Android apps. To learn more about the new software, Microsoft gave me an exclusive interview with the company's CEO and chairman.
I know there's like a new start sound, and I wanted to know if you could do an impression of it.
I wish I need more talent.
I took away 3 things the company's doing in this new operating system to lure users and app makers. Number 1, a new modern interface. Those who remember Windows 8 know that messing with the Start menu before didn't work out so well for Microsoft.
There's not somebody's job at Microsoft, which is how should we move the Start button? Where should we move it?
I'm sure it is as well, and we'll always also have the option with Windows, as you know, we'll always have the option for anybody to go back to whatever classic mode they want.
But the placement is only part of the fresh start. Click the button itself and you get your apps, but also cloud-connected recommendations of what you might need next.
The design system of Windows is about you getting to your apps, your files, the people you want to connect with faster, with less friction.
There are lots of other interface and design changes. This button on the taskbar brings up a widget screen where you can view all sorts of news and quick glance information. Hover on the Maximize Window button, and you get a tool to help you place multiple windows side by side. These screenshots provided by Microsoft were taken on pre-release software, and the features are not final.
Tell me, what kind of role did the pandemic play in the development of Windows 11?
We definitely were influenced by the need for a modern operating system. In some sense, the original idea of Windows has suddenly become, again in 2021, a huge priority.
One of those pandemic-driven features, a universal mute button that lives in the system tray, so you don't always have to go digging in whatever video calling app to mute yourself. I'm very into it. The second thing, a new store with Android apps.
We're going to welcome all apps across even all the different application platforms in Windows itself, right? It can be a PWP or a web app, it can be a native app, and we're going to support Android as first class as well.
All right, tech translation. Up until now, the Microsoft Store was just for certain kinds of Windows apps. Now it will be open for any Windows app. But the real headline? Microsoft is partnering with Amazon's Android App Store.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing with the Microsoft Store on Windows 10, and specifically there, what you're doing with Amazon.
In fact, you can go to our store, search, find an Android application, and then you'll be linked into the Amazon store, and you can use the Amazon Store apps as if they're Windows apps, and all of the windowing will work.
It's a big move, and one clearly aimed at Chromebooks, which also run Android apps. In the last year, unit sales of Chromebooks grew by 275%. Windows 11 will also enable more Windows apps to run on new laptops and desktops powered by ARM mobile chips from Qualcomm.
If you think about the traditional role of operating systems are very much, needed whenever there is a real change in the system architecture, right? I mean, you think about the AI chips now, right? It's not just the CPU and the GPU, but now NPUs are all becoming part of any PC.
Another translation. All these parts of the chipset have changed in big ways in the last few years to make computers smarter and more power efficient. Windows 11 will work better with them. And that brings us to the third, a focus on openness.
Why Windows? Why should someone get Windows over Chrome, over Mac OS?
Windows gives you the most choice of systems to apps to everything that you want to be able to do. I think Windows, in fact, is becoming increasingly the device that bridges all of these ecosystems.
Do you think of yourself as sort of the Switzerland there of the ecosystems?
I think that more than when we say Switzerland, I think there are certain platform rules by which we principally drive Windows. I'm not saying that other ecosystems shouldn't have their own platform rules. We have a different set of platform rules, and those platform rules, I believe, in 2021 are more needed than they ever were.
How are your platform rules different than say, Apple?
One simple thing, we have the ability to have multiple marketplaces that can thrive. We want to have a great marketplace, but we also welcome other marketplaces. We want to have great tools like, say, Teams, but we also welcome Zoom or Slack or anything else to be also first class.
Apple's iOS specifically does not allow for third-party app stores and has been the focus of recent antitrust scrutiny.
So if you have an Android phone, it works great with Windows. What about the iPhone?
We would love to make sure that it works better. I mean, we do everything we can. Like anything that Apple wants to do with Windows, whether it's iTunes or iMessage or what have you, we would welcome that. But overall, we want to make sure our software runs great on Apple devices and Windows works well with any software from anyone, whether it's Google or Apple or Adobe or anyone.
But what Mr. Nadella's biggest challenge seems to be moving ahead without alienating those who love Windows of yore.
I want to read you something you said in your first event as Microsoft CEO, and this was in 2014. You said, "This business does not respect tradition."
What it respects is innovation on a go-forward basis. So it's really our collective challenge that we now need to make Microsoft thrive in a mobile-first and a cloud-first world.
How do you innovate with avoiding a disaster like Windows 8?
It's all about sort of the batting average at the end of it all. The fact that here, 35 years after its inception, and there's no innovation that's risk-free. So let's say that, and then boldly go forward.
But don't worry, you can still move your start button to where it's always been.
11, it's a big number. It's a lucky number? 11 is a lucky number?
Oh, it is a lucky number. 2 ones make 11.
2 ones make 11. Also add up to 2.